Salam sejahtera dan bersama saya Reza Razali. Kita mulakan Niaga AWANI dengan rakaman awal ucapan Menteri Kewangan Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Aziz sempena penyerahan surat anugerah Dana Penjana National 8 to Acceler8 di Kuala Lumpur sebentar tadi.
Yang berbahagia, Datuk Asri Hamidun, KSP, Secretary General of Ministry of Finance. Yang berbahagia, Datuk Syarul Nazri bin Abdul Rahim, Chairman of Penjana Capital, members of the board, investment panel and management of Penjana Capital, the representatives of foreign venture capital fund managers and their local partners, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to everyone. I am pleased to be here today at the Penjana Capital Letter of Award ceremony, which marks a big step forward for Malaysia's startup and venture capital sectors. Just 4 months ago, I had the opportunity to launch the Dana Penjana National Program, where I reflected on Malaysia's position among the top 15 VC destinations among 125 countries ranked globally as per the 2018 Venture Capital and Private Equity Country Attractiveness Index. I also reflected on why it is important to support this ever-growing sector as a catalyst for our economic growth. So today I am proud to witness Penjana Capital's first key milestone in connecting Malaysian startups with international VCs and in facilitating a growth path and a vibrant ecosystem for these high potential firms to thrive. Dana Penjana was introduced as part of the government's economic stimulus package to weather the impact of the pandemic COVID-19. It was envisioned as a much needed boost for Malaysia's startups that have persevered in this new norm. This is not just another startup fund with a focus on sectors like agri-tech, fintech, edutech, mobility, and artificial intelligence. The plan was to set up a 1.2 billion ringgit fund that is effectively allocated to high-growth firms with clear set of goals to achieve. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome 8 VC fund managers that have helped Penjana Capital exceed this target with an indicative fund size of 1.57 billion ringgit combined under the program, or 370 million ringgit more than the initial projected allocation. These 8 VCs were carefully selected among the 51 applicants from around the world, including the US, China, Korea, Indonesia, and Singapore. To ensure compatibility with domestic players, a rigorous evaluation process was employed, and we are happy to say that the setup is ready to achieve our objectives and more. I would like to thank Penjana Capital, their board and investment panel, as well as everyone who has contributed to ensure the success of this initiative. Such encouraging foreign investors' participation also indicates strong confidence from the international community towards Malaysia's investment-friendly policies, as well as the country's economic and startup industry growth prospects. Ladies and gentlemen, investment is key to long-term economic growth and productivity. Looking at the big picture, or the bigger picture, this VC boost is part of the government's efforts to enhance our startup enabling environment and generate more business opportunities, particularly in sectors with high multiplier effects for the economy. Setups like Penjana Capital empower our startups through knowledge transfer, as well as exponential growth through the ensuing network effect. It goes beyond providing the short-term funding needs of these companies. For the long term, Penjana Capital has established knowledge transfer plans, or KTPs, to set a clear goal of the players involved. These KTPs, and there are 91 under Penjana Capital alone, will eventually lead to the creation of at least 1,800 high-skilled jobs through investee companies' projects or knowledge transfers. This is in line with Malaysia's objective to become a knowledge-based economy with high value-added products and services. Looking back, Malaysia has long had its place among investors, being blessed with a robust ecosystem comprising a diverse human capital base, key physical and digital infrastructure, supportive policies by the government, and a multi-ethnic and diverse market that is deemed by many as good, cost-effective base for venturing into the ASEAN region. Beyond the private investment space, Malaysia has demonstrated its resilience on the investment front despite COVID-19's challenge to growth, with total approved investments exceeding 100 billion ringgit in the first 9 months of 2020 alone. This is a commendable effort, considering the global economic uncertainties. This is also fully supported by the government's ecosystem ready to spur bigger and more sustainable growth ahead. Since the Penjana Economic Recovery Plan was launched in June 2020, up until Budget 2021 was tabled, the government has pushed for numerous measures to encourage local and foreign investments, including 10 to 15-year tax relief for eligible companies relocating to Malaysia for the first time, 3-year investment tax allowance for relocation by companies with existing operations here, reinvestment allowance for manufacturers and agriculture players, 1 billion ringgit special incentive package for high value-added technology, 500 million ringgit high-tech fund by Bank Negara to drive innovation, and tax incentive for R&D product commercialization. Moving forward, I'm optimistic to see more foreign and domestic investor participation, and I give my personal assurance that the government will continue to support high-impact investments for the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, today, the business sector has increasingly adopted the tenets of sustainability as part of the global movement towards a cleaner, more sustainable, and more resilient community. This is reflected by the rising interest and investments in SRI, or sustainable and responsible investments, in the private sector. SRI is all about sustainable finance, sustainable operations, and achieving the people-planet profit balance in pursuing business interests. In this regard, the government has also reached a new milestone in aligning, for the first time ever, many of its national budget measures with the 17 UN SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals. As part of Budget 2021, we are proud to strengthen our sustainability agenda, including the 2 billion ringgit Green Technology Financing Scheme 3.0, to encourage the issuance of SRI Sukuk, and a tentative plan to issue our first sustainable bond next year. We are also committed to ensure the sustainability and continuity of our SMEs and micro enterprises during the COVID-19 episode, with aid amounting to 24 billion ringgit to over 1.4 million businesses. This includes the SME soft loan funds, the wage subsidy program, as well as the Prihatin special grant, just to name a few. On the startup front, Malaysia is slowly but surely seeing the emergence of the green tech industry, from waste management to renewable energy and manufacturing of products that minimizes carbon footprint. In promoting this green agenda, we hope our entrepreneurs will also leverage the private investment ecosystem, as well as venture into more and more green technology to achieve the people, planet, profit, triple bottom line. Malaysia's startup sector certainly has the capabilities and potential to achieve this, having grown from strength to strength over the years. At least 200 or so fintech startups have made its home as of April 2019, representing the fastest growing subsectors in our economy. We also encourage collaborations with multiple agencies that have been mobilized to support this segment, including MAGIC, MDEC, MTDC, and the likes of Cradle, MDV, as well as multiple equity crowdfunding platforms, or ECF, to facilitate investments from retail and angel investors alike. And yet, the Malaysian startup space still has room to grow to compete with its regional peers, with a sizable portion of available government funds still available. This is where Penjana Capital and other funds dedicated to encouraging and supporting startups will continue to play their role in developing and growing the private capital investment space. So ladies and gentlemen, I firmly believe in Malaysia as an attractive investment destination for ASEAN startups, as risk capital catches on to chase better yields in what appears to be a prolonged low interest rate environment. Such investment commitments will contribute towards Malaysia's next generation and future growth engines. Concurrently, this will catalyze the VC industries in terms of talent development and developing appropriate risk and reward sharing mechanisms for investors and investees. It is also about providing viable fundraising options for SMEs and micro SMEs. These efforts will lead to the growth of Malaysian startups by enabling them to tap into not just private capital, but also the global investors' expertise and know-how. So in turn, it will enhance employment opportunities and set Malaysia on the right track towards economic recovery and becoming a high-income nation. To everyone who has been selected under the Dana Penjana program, I would like to welcome you on board this initiative, and I'm confident you will fulfill the mandated roles. Our sincerest appreciation for your trust and confidence in Malaysia, and I wish you all the great journey ahead. And to Penjana Capital, again, congratulations for making this first big stride, and I'm confident you will be able to deliver more successes in the future. So thank you.
Dan Penjana Capital Sdn Bhd ditubuhkan Kementerian Kewangan diperbadankan untuk memastikan dana penjana nasional dapat diuruskan dengan berkesan menurut Menteri Kewangan Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz. Sebelum ini, Lembaga Pengarah Khas dan juga panel pelaburan dilantik bagi Penjana Capital untuk memastikan tabir urus dan ketulusan yang baik dan memantau dana yang diagihkan di bawah dana penjana nasional. Pada Jun lepas, Perdana Menteri Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin mengumumkan penubuhan dana penjana nasional dengan peruntukan 1.2 bilion ringgit dalam usaha memacu pemulihan ekonomi negara menerusi pendigitalan perniagaan. Muhyiddin berkata sebanyak 600 juta daripada peruntukan itu akan disumbang kerajaan, manakala selebihnya daripada pelabur domestik dan juga antarabangsa. Dan kita bersama pengasas Terato Tech Reza Razali untuk membincangkan pelancaran 8 to Acceler8. Reza, sepanjang PKP dan juga tempoh COVID-19 ini, kita banyak membincangkan kepentingan ekonomi digital dan juga penyelesaian baru untuk ekonomi. Apakah maksudnya 8 to Acceler8 ini kepada startup dan juga sektor ini di Malaysia?
Memang exciting news ya, exciting news, very exciting. 1.57 bilion, duit tu besar. Kita tak pandai nak kira ni. Kalau orang kat kampung dengan 1.57 bilion tu terlalu banyak duitnya. So saya merasakan jika saya berumur 27 tahun, saya 10 tahun lepas mendengar announcement ni, saya akan sangat excited. Tapi pada umur 38 ni, saya dah kena sepak terajang sistem birokrasi negara ni, saya dengar announcement ni, so saya nak tahu implementationnya bagaimana ya. Itu yang kita harapkan lebih baik, sebab rakan-rakan pun kebanyakannya saya tanya di Twitter dan social media, ramai orang pada era susah ni dah putus harapan. So kita harap polisi yang hebat ni tidak dibakul sampahkanlah dari segi implementasi.
Dan Reza, kedengaran seperti sangat mungkin tidak begitu optimis terhadap pelancaran ini. Kenapa Reza? Apa yang Reza lalui sebelum ini dari segi pelaksanaan?
Benda-benda ketika recession happen ya, memang selalu kita ada stimulus bajet, dan penjana kapital ni alhamdulillah one large amount 1.57 billion memang impactnya agak besar, amat besar. Jikalau ianya boleh, yang paling penting saya rasa disalurkan kepada, because ini taxpayer money kan. So walaupun ada foreign partner yang contribute lebih daripada separuh, prioritinya perlu kepada bagi saya usahawan tempatan atau bisnes yang based in Malaysia atau bisnes dengan tenaga kerja mahir di Malaysia. Sebab kalau dilihat ya, kalau kita lihat stock market kalau kita tengok company-company di US dan sebagainya, memang bila IPO boleh naik sekali ganda, boleh naik 100% sebagainya. Tapi mungkin tak sebegitu sangat kalau di Malaysia. Tapi kalau nak dilihatkan daripada segi penjana capital ni hanya untuk dapatkan return kepada government dan the investor, tapi majority of the fund akan dilaburkan kepada syarikat di luar negara, maka itu will be the purpose because this is the taxpayer money lah.
Jadi untuk sektor-sektor yang diumumkan sebelum ini termasuk seperti sektor agri pertanian, mobiliti, teknologi, apa nilai tambah yang Reza ingin dibawakan oleh pelaburan ini ke dalam syarikat-syarikat ini? Nilai tambah daripada segi bagaimana selain daripada dollars and cents itu, Reza?
Betul. So kita kena lihat ya sektor bagaimana yang Malaysia boleh benefit dengan quick win ya dan dengan lebih mudah. So kita mungkin lihat sektor-sektor seperti mobility, mungkin investment tu besar, tak cukup dana 2-3 juta untuk syarikat-syarikat mobility, mereka mungkin memerlukan dana yang sangat besar. So apa yang kita boleh identify ialah mungkin kita boleh fokuskan pada sektor-sektor yang membangunkan aplikasi software as a service. Pasukan hanya 4-5 orang, pasukan tempatan based in Malaysia, tetapi solusi mereka diterima di luar negara. So kita carilah all these local champion dan kita help grow syarikat-syarikat sebegini ya. So the impact of the fund tu instead of 1.5 bilion kepada hanya 20 syarikat, kita mungkin boleh lihat impact 1.5 bilion tu impact dia kepada ratusan syarikat dan eventually puluh ribu pekerja tempatan yang mahir dalam ekosistem selepas 20 tahun, selepas beberapa tahun dana ni didisburskan lah.
Jadi long term juga penting dan saya tahu dalam ucapan dan juga dalam press release yang diumumkan ataupun sidang laporan press release tersebut diumumkan bahawa 1,800 pekerjaan akan diumumkan ataupun akan mendapat manfaat daripada dana ini. Adakah terlalu kecil pada ketika ini ataupun bagaimana, Reza?
Saya rasa mungkin agak kecil. 1,800 mungkin agak kecil, tapi kita look the devils in the detail ya. Kita lihat the devils in the detail.
Yeah. Okey, dan tadi juga Reza menyatakan berkenaan dengan bagaimana saham penyelesaian berasaskan aplikasi dan juga teknologi di Amerika Syarikat mendapat perhatian. Sebelum ini Airbnb dan juga DoorDash disenaraikan meningkat sangat tinggi. Jadi keinginan untuk melabur dalam syarikat teknologi tersebut di Amerika, adakah sentimen yang sama wujud di dalam Asia, Southeast Asia, di Malaysia contohnya? Adakah keinginan ini juga tinggi?
Ya, kita lihat semenjak pandemik ni berlaku daripada Mac, retail investor di bursa ramai dan juga kita lihat banyak platform ECF pun terlalu banyak deal di mana retail investor dah mula invest ke dalam syarikat tempatan. I think that is a good signal. Tapi challenge yang kita nak lihat lepas ni setelah berlaku semua pelaburan ni, di manakah liquidity event tu. So kita berharap that will happen dan ia akan encourage a lot more retail investor to participate in the market lah, untuk melabur ke dalam syarikat-syarikat startup ni.
Tadi Reza menyatakan, terakhir sekali Reza, menyatakan berkenaan dengan pelaksanaan tu penting. Apa lagi Reza ingin tambah kepada Acceler8 ini, Reza? 8 to Accelerate.
Ya, bagi saya nak bangunkan usahawan ni ambil masa ya. So seorang usahawan lahir tu bukan keluar universiti terus lahir terus pandai. Tetapi seorang usahawan yang mungkin nak raise risk capital ni, dana troka ni, dia perlu masuk universiti, pergi kerja, kena ada produk dan seterusnya bila ada produk dia raise dana. So mungkin proses tu ambil masa 5-6 tahun untuk build the muscle to become a VC funded entrepreneur ya. So bila kita lihat dana VC ni sebagai risk capital, kita I hope the government and the agency yang manage penjana capital ni does not look at this as a way to make money from 18% to 25% interest nak mencari return sebegini. Kita perlu fokus untuk mencari syarikat yang boleh kasih lonjakan ke dalam industri kita ya, seperti dulu kita ada Grab dan sebagainya, syarikat yang boleh memberikan 100 kali return daripada segi capital dan juga 1000 kali return daripada segi ekosistem dan human capital. Itu yang kita perlukan. Kita janganlah, kalau usahawan ni nak lahirkan punyalah susah ya. Tapi bila let's say dia dah dapat dana, by first second year dia terciduk, habis ni dalam VC atau agensi ni terus nak saman, nak bungkuskan bisnes dia dan bungkuskan usahawan ni terus. I think that's not conducive to the ecosystem because segala knowledge yang usahawan ni ada selama ber-10 tahun ke dalam sistem, bila dia mati dia boleh jual kuku atau kuih je lepas tu. So kita waste, we kill an entrepreneur. So itu yang selalu berlaku dalam ekosistem kita. Kerana mungkin agensi dulu ni takut, kita dah kasih duit tak boleh return, tak apalah, kita saman je usahawan, kita dapatkan dia punya rumah balik, lepas tu kita boleh report agama, tak apa, kita invest juta ni kita dapat balik sejuta. Tapi you have killed an entrepreneur. That is not how the ecosystem, let's say, the Silicon Valley works. Kan, an entrepreneur tu kalau tak berjaya first attempt, tapi dia dah cuba baik, it's okay. You can find another round lah. So, I hope we look at it that way. Kita jangan cuba, kita perlukan, bagi saya untuk berjaya, kita perlukan lebih empathy dan get really passionate people kan, untuk terlibat secara langsung. And please have empathy towards an entrepreneur. Pihak-pihak birokrat ni duduk belakang meja, baik dapat gaji bulan, dia tak faham the struggle of entrepreneur, very difficult kan.
Jadi
kita
perlu ada entrepreneur juga dalam board tu, dalam penasihat tu.
I am here, bring me in, Tengku Zafrul. Please do. My email reza@terato.com. Twitter Reza Razali. Alright.
Terima kasih Reza Razali, pengasas Terato.com, bincangkan berkenaan dengan pandangan beliau berkenaan dengan Aid to Accelerate yang diumumkan oleh Menteri Kewangan Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul sebentar tadi. Kita akan berehat seketika, selepas ini kembali dengan unjuran pasaran Asia dan juga di Malaysia.